Private big cat ownership in the United States remains a highly controversial issue, blending conservation, public safety, and animal welfare concerns. Thousands of big cats, including tigers, lions, leopards, and cougars, are privately owned across the country in backyards, basements, and roadside zoos. The exact number of privately owned big cats is difficult to track, but estimates suggest thousands live outside regulated facilities. Some private owners acquire big cats through the exotic pet trade, auctions, or online sales with minimal oversight. Unlike accredited zoos or sanctuaries, many private owners lack the experience, funding, or facilities to provide proper care. Big cats require specialized diets, large enclosures, extensive veterinary care, and behavioral enrichment to remain healthy. Inadequate housing, poor nutrition, and lack of veterinary oversight contribute to chronic health problems in many privately owned cats. Big cats confined to small cages often exhibit neurotic behaviors, including pacing, self-mutilation, and obsessive licking. Proper enclosures must mimic natural habitats with climbing structures, water features, and space for natural hunting behaviors. Many private owners underestimate the costs and challenges of meeting the complex physical and psychological needs of big cats. Caring for a fully grown tiger or lion can cost tens of thousands of dollars per year in food alone. As cubs, big cats may seem manageable, but they rapidly grow into powerful, unpredictable predators within months. Tigers can exceed 400 pounds and develop crushing bite forces capable of breaking bones with ease. Even experienced handlers acknowledge that big cats remain inherently dangerous, even after years of human contact. Big cats retain predatory instincts, responding to stimuli like movement, scent, or loud noises with reflexive aggression. Dozens of incidents involving private big cats attacking owners, family members, or visitors have been documented across the U.S. Some fatal attacks occurred when owners attempted to play, feed, or clean enclosures without proper safety protocols. Inexperienced owners often misinterpret playful behavior, failing to recognize subtle signs of stress, frustration, or territorial aggression. Big cats capable of killing prey with a single strike pose an obvious risk when housed in residential neighborhoods. Escaped big cats have triggered public safety emergencies, with law enforcement forced to euthanize animals to protect communities. The 2011 Zanesville, Ohio tragedy highlighted the dangers of private ownership when dozens of big cats were released into the community. Law enforcement killed 49 exotic animals, including lions, tigers, and bears, after the owner released them before taking his own life. Incidents like Zanesville expose the lack of national oversight and the patchwork of state-level regulations governing big cat ownership. Some states ban private ownership entirely, while others allow it with permits or impose few restrictions at all. This regulatory inconsistency creates loopholes that allow the interstate sale and transfer of big cats with minimal oversight. The Big Cat Public Safety Act, introduced in Congress, aims to ban private ownership and restrict public contact with cubs. Supporters argue the act would enhance public safety, reduce roadside zoos, and improve welfare standards for captive big cats. Opponents, including some private owners and breeders, claim responsible private ownership is possible with proper education and oversight. They argue blanket bans unfairly punish responsible owners who invest heavily in proper care and safety measures. However, even the most responsible private facilities struggle to provide the space, enrichment, and veterinary care big cats need. Accredited sanctuaries and zoos must meet rigorous animal welfare standards overseen by professional associations and government agencies. The Association of Zoos and Aquariums, AZA, requires expansive, species-appropriate habitats, professional veterinary programs, and enrichment plans. Private owners, lacking regulatory oversight, operate with vastly different standards, often prioritizing profit over animal welfare. Roadside zoos and private collections often exploit cubs for photo opportunities, separating them from mothers shortly after birth. These cubs, overhandled and stressed, often develop behavioral problems and face uncertain futures once they outgrow photo size. Unwanted adult big cats become difficult to rehome, with sanctuaries overwhelmed by rescue requests from private owners. Many facilities simply lack the space or funding to accommodate the influx of privately owned tigers and lions. This overflow leads to euthanasia, neglect, or illegal sales to disreputable facilities or the black market. The US is estimated to have more captive tigers in backyards than exist in the wild globally. This surplus of captive big cats undermines legitimate conservation efforts focused on protecting wild populations. Conservation biologists emphasize that captive tigers bred for private ownership have no genetic value for wild population recovery. Inbreeding, lack of species-specific breeding programs, and hybridization create genetic dead ends in privately bred big cats. These privately owned cats do nothing to support conservation but instead contribute to the illegal wildlife trade. Big cats bred and discarded by private owners sometimes end up in illegal slaughter facilities for parts and pelts. Tiger bone, teeth, and skins fuel illegal wildlife markets in Asia, further threatening wild populations. Banning private ownership would reduce the pipeline of surplus big cats entering both legal and illegal trade channels. Properly enforced bans would also relieve financial and logistical pressure on sanctuaries tasked with rescuing discarded cats. Public safety would benefit by reducing the risk of escaped predators and fatal attacks in residential areas. Animal welfare would improve by eliminating inadequate private enclosures, improper diets, and insufficient veterinary care. A comprehensive ban would also shift the cultural perception of big cats from personal status symbols to protected wildlife. Educational outreach could focus on promoting respect for big cats as wild animals, not exotic pets or social media props. Legislation alone, however, must be paired with enforcement funding, sanctuary support, and public education campaigns. A ban without resources to confiscate, rehome, or humanely manage existing privately owned big cats would create new challenges. A phased approach, combining ownership restrictions with surrender incentives and funding for accredited sanctuaries, offers the best path forward. Ultimately, the ethical argument centers on whether any private individual can truly meet the needs of an apex predator. Big cats evolved to roam territories spanning dozens of miles, hunt live prey, and interact with conspecifics. Captive life in a backyard cage, however large, cannot replicate the mental stimulation or physical challenges of wildlife. Every day spent in inadequate conditions compromises both welfare and natural behaviors essential to species survival. Banning private ownership sends a clear message that big cats deserve protection, not exploitation for profit or prestige. The future of big cat conservation depends on shifting focus from private ownership to habitat protection and responsible sanctuaries. With fewer big cats in private hands, resources can focus on preserving wild habitats and supporting genuine conservation breeding programs. The combination of public safety, animal welfare, and global conservation benefits makes banning private big cat ownership a necessary step forward.